This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Head-to-head, KUTT.com. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. Finally, there's only a few days left to get 15% off in the SGPN merch store. Head over there, use code PLAYOFFS. That's all caps, playoffs, like the NFL playoffs. I hope you guys watched those games yesterday because they were good. I had the Lions parlayed with the Chiefs, 11-1. Yeah, that stung for sure. But we're here to talk about golf. I just had to get that off my chest because I haven't really told anyone about that. Like 11-1, and they blew that. That stung. But we're here. Pebble Beach week, a beautiful week. I have a Pebble Beach graphic right above my head. This is probably my favorite event, just financially. 3 straight winners for me at Pebble out in the outright market, and we definitely need one because we've been so damn close. I know this is a DFS show, but we've been so damn close in the outright the first month of the year. Not last week. Last week was a mess, and we'll recap that when we get there. But Pebble is a beautiful week. We have some weather to deal with, which we'll also get into. And yeah, it's awesome seeing. It's going to be awesome to see some big names at Pebble. On a yearly basis, we see Pebble Beach. It's always a fun event, but we see a lot of AMs, a lot of random golfers. We don't see Scotty Scheffler. We don't see Rory McIlroy. We don't see the top dogs. But now that it's elevated status, we get to see some of our favorite golfers on one of the most, at least, best visual golf courses on the planet. So I'm super excited. Let's talk a little bit about Torrey Pines because I wonder what the exacta would have been on like that final, the way the leaderboard played out. You could have put $10 on that exacta and had generational wealth for like, you would have maybe more than Rom money because the odds on what happened at Torrey Pines were truly insane. And I rag on the DP World Tour all the time, just like the guts of the golfers, how they never can close. And not like Pavone wasn't perfect, but he was perfect enough. He did everything he needed to do because everyone around him messed up. And none of the PGA Tour studs, none of the best golfers on the PGA Tour stepped up when they had the chance. Like, we could talk about all these guys. Like, so many guys had chances. Ludwig had chances. Xander backdoored himself. But no one stepped up and did what they had to do to make it happen. But we're on to Pebble. Last week was in the terms of DFS. The DFS probably one of my worst weeks of 2024. It's been good outside of that, but if you've been following the underdog and the prize pick stuff, that was solid during the week. And we'll get to that later in the show. But let's move on to the DFS. I'm going to bring up the DFS board. We'll talk about range by range like we always do. And yeah, let's get right into it. Hope you guys like the new hair. So Rory, Scotty, Victor, Xander lead us off. First time we are seeing Rory, he comes over after winning in Dubai yet again. Rory winning in Dubai is just like an annual thing. He goes over there, he wins, he comes back. Like, it's just what he does. He wins in Dubai. Scotty making his third start of the year, and Victor making his second start of 2024. He played the Century, and Xander has been playing the most. And that's gonna lead me right into Xander. I think I like Xander the most out of this top range because, okay, yeah, California connection, but he has the reps. He has more reps on the PGA Tour this year than any of these top guys. And not like these top guys can't play well, can't win this golf tournament, but I just love that Xander's been playing so much golf. Xander has talked about at the Century how important this 2024 was to him. And although it's been very casual Xander, like another backdoor finish, he seems there. He definitely seems competent, and he seems like he's playing good golf, and he seems like he's right. I think he wants it more than anyone else at the top of this range. Rory and Scotty obviously don't have much course history here. Rory has better course history than Scotty. Rory had that top 10 finish in the US Open. Obviously a different setup, but still Pebble Beach, and Victor. Victor plays here more often than the rest of this range, which is definitely a nod to Victor. He won the U.S. Amateur here, which is another tidbit to Victor. And I really love Victor at Pebble Beach at a macro level. I think Victor Hovland wins at Pebble Beach when it's all said and done in the PGA Tour career, maybe multiple times. I just love the way the course sets up for him. But what we're seeing from Victor is a tad concerning. If you look at Victor's strokes gain numbers, his last two measured rounds or measured events, the Century and the Hero, lost over 2 strokes on approach. Now, if you know anything about Victor Hovland, you know he's one of the best iron players in the world. Victor Hovland should not be losing strokes on approach. That's now 2 straight events, and you could say whatever you want from the Hero. There's only 20 guys in that field. But the Century strokes gained, if you look at all the players in the Century strokes gain market, no one hit the ball well. It was a very wonky strokes gained database for the Century. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was just everyone's first day out, and then they all just weren't themselves, which probably makes the most sense. But the Century strokes gain numbers were a little weird. I don't know what you want to take from Victor Hovland hitting the ball bad in his last 2 starts. So you're definitely splitting hairs up here. I think it's okay to fade the top 2 guys. Scotty Scheffler looked tired at the Amex, and patting myself on the back, fading him resulted in a T17, which is like basically a dead last place finish for Scotty. So I'll pat myself on the back, him being my fade at the Amex. And then Rory, like making his first start, doesn't have the best course history. I just like Xander. He's significantly cheaper than the top, and he has so many avenues for success. He's playing good golf right now. Yeah. And if he gets off to a slow start, no one likes to backdoor more than Xander Schauffele. So I think in this 10K range, Xander is the click that you're going to have to make up top. All right, we're going to get down to this 9K range in a second. Let me talk to you quickly about Underdog Fantasy. Promo code GolfSGPN. Golf SGPN. Tail me on Underdog Fantasy. We are doing good things. You guys already know what Underdog Fantasy is. You're going to pick higher or lower on X amount of props. It's a lot of birdies. It's a lot of strokes. It's pretty much all it is, but it's pretty straightforward. You can play NFL, NBA, NHL, college hoops, college football. Simply pick higher or lower. You could win up to 100x if you get them spicy plays in different sports, but golf hasn't gotten there yet. We're just keeping it straightforward. Higher or lower, promo code GolfSGPN. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Golf Gambling Podcast on Twitter, Golf Gambling Pod on TikTok to get the plays, and YouTube, of course, as well. All right, 9K range. Let's get to it. Let me scroll down the screen a little bit and find talk about the ranges. Patrick Cantlay 9-7 down to Ludwig Aubert 9 flat. We got to talk about Patrick Cantlay because I was on him last week. Downright pathetic. He got off to a great start, 7 under on the North Course round 1. I was like, oh boy, I'm on Patrick Cantlay for the 50th time in 52 weeks. This is going to finally pay off for me. Patrick Cantlay is going to get me a win. And this motherfucker shoots over par in round 2 and looked like he's never hit an iron before. They showed him on the range. He looked like he had a bit of a wonky miss, whatever. He got onto the golf course I'm going to mess the days up at some point. It was Thursday afternoon because they started on Wednesday. Striped the ball out the gates, was playing out of the fairway, and my man pulled long every iron shot from the middle of the fairway. And it's not like he was hitting iron shots from bunkers or Torrey Pines rough, the middle of the fairway. And he looked like he never hit an iron. He was looking at LaCava. He was looking at his hands. He was looking at the ground. I don't know what to make of Patrick Cantlay, but his last 2 starts have been downright awful. Just like Victor, losing multiple strokes on approach in consecutive starts. But he has great course history. I don't think you can play Patrick Cantlay when he's just downright hitting the ball awful. Is he coming back to his baseline? Because last year might have just been an anomaly. I know you might not think that he didn't win, but he was a elite level ball striker last year. He didn't win, but the ball striking was truly immaculate. He putted poorly last year. Maybe he's just coming back down to earth and not hitting it well, but I don't know. I'm going to have to. It's a weird thing because if he could find the putter, he doesn't have to be the elite level ball striker that we saw last year. I just think it's a true wait and see on Patrick Cantlay. I'm going to be out for now. Justin Thomas. Doesn't have the most course history here, but this is damn sure just a golf course that Justin Thomas can take care of. If you look at his results, third at the Amex, third at the Hero, didn't play the Century, fourth at the Nedbank, fifth at the Fortinet, or fourth at the Fortinet. This man is just rolling off top 5 finishes. And I talked about on every single show about Justin Thomas. He's posting on social media. He wants it more than I've ever seen Justin Thomas want it. So at $9,600 at a golf course that is going to just reward elite precision iron play and precision into greens and great short game, Justin Thomas could definitely be a good play. You're going to hear a lot about driving accuracy this week. Throw it out. Driving accuracy does not matter. The last 5 winners, not one of them ranked inside the top 20 in driving accuracy. It does not matter. This is a club down golf course. Guys aren't going to be hitting many drivers. They're going to be hitting irons into fairways. There's going to be forced layups. Iron play is key this week. Throw away the driving stats. They really, good driving stats are good, but they're meaningless. They just focus on the iron play this week, and Justin Thomas is a great candidate. Jordan Spieth plays this golf course damn near every year, has great course history. And it makes sense. A guy who gets wonky off the tee from time to time, heads to Pebble where he's not hitting that many drivers, hitting a bunch of irons, and then he can lean into that great wedge game and great around the green play. At this price point, Jordan Spieth definitely provides some great upside, and he's been playing some good golf at the moment. He's finished third at the Century, and he looked really good, and then sixth at the Hero. I mean, you can make what you want about the Hero, like I'm said, but it's good golf, and he's going to a golf course that he second in 2022, third in 21. He plays all the time. He knows how to win on this golf course. So I definitely like Jordan Spieth. He will be very popular though. Max Homa. I think I really like Max Homa this week at $9,200. Quick water break sponsored by Ghost Energy. So Max Homa didn't hit the ball that well at Torrey Pines last week, but he still found his way to finish 13th. And like Jordan Spieth, Max Homa plays here a lot. 7th in 2021, 14th in 2020, 10th in 2019. He didn't play the last 2 years, but now he's back and he has great course history. He hit his long irons and his driver poorly at Torrey Pines. He's not going to be hitting many of those clubs this year. At this week, not this year. This week. And if you look back at the Century, the dude lapped the field tee to green. The dude was head and shoulders above everyone tee to green. Ball struck the hell out of it and putted poorly. And just wouldn't it seem right for Max Homa to just get another California win under his belt and throw a Pebble trophy in his trophy case? He is the California king, and he loves it over here. So at $9,200, I definitely think Max Homa is there. And I'm not worried about the poor ball striking at Torrey Pines because they talked about on the broadcast. He was trying a new thing with the driver. He was lifting his left heel up, trying to get more speed, and it was causing a lot of pulls and a lot of misses off the tee. I mean, if you try anything new, it's gonna not be perfect at first. I don't know why you run it out at Torrey Pines, but I'm not Max Homa's coach. Probably felt better on the range than it did on the course. So I'm not really worried about the poor ball striking at Torrey Pines. He still found his way to finish T13, and he clearly didn't have his A game. I think he will hit it better at Pebble Beach, $9,200. Colin Morikawa, $9,100, miscut, but it wasn't a bad miscut. The cut line was weird. If you were within the cut line on Thursday, you were a stroke or two away from being in contention and a stroke or two away from missing the cut. Everything was so bunched up. I'm not faulting Colin Morikawa for barely missing a cut. He had one bad shot down the stretch. He went in the bunker down the stretch, and he didn't make the cuts. But heads to a golf course he doesn't really play much. But when you think of what I just said with Justin Thomas, precision iron play, decent short game, Colin Morikawa, $9,100. That is very cheap for a guy who definitely can perform. California as well. He's won in California before, so definitely down for Colin Morikawa. Ludwig, 9K flat, never played here before. He's already proven it on wedge courses, but no real feelings on Ludwig. Like, I'm down. I don't feel horrible. I don't feel great. Probably will wait later in the week to make a real decision on Ludwig. Let's go down to the 8K range. Let me pull the screen down a little bit. We got good old Sam Burns. I'm going to say it right now. He's going to be a fade for me. Obviously, I had him 35-1 at the Amex, but I had to be lucky to be there. I was lucky to be there. He did not deserve to win that golf tournament. Looking at Sam Burns' strokes gained numbers from the Amex, really bad tee to green, kind of just chipped and putt well. That's not the formula that you deserve to win on. So Nick Dunlap got that win. Sam Burns didn't deserve that. So I'm going to fade him here. The iron play hasn't been great, and you're going to need to be precise with the irons. So Sam Burns down to Ben on, and I'll do the Ben on thing right now. The dude is just striping it, but I love the driver has been elite. Not that the iron play hasn't been elite, but the driver has been insane. Second at the Sony, fourth at the Century, played 37th here last year. His ceiling is definitely his floor has definitely risen. He has a much higher floor. I think he will play well. So back up to the top of this 8K range, we got Tony Finau. Tony Finau was in the mix last week at Torrey Pines, one of the only guys who showed up, I guess, from this top PGA Tour regular group. Now Pebble Beach will negate his best weapon, which is his driver, but he still can get it done with the mid irons and wedges. He hit them well this week. So again, no real feelings on Tony Finau, but I definitely think there's a path. I think Cam Young is a good DFS play. No one's going to want to play him, and he's performed really well at club down golf courses on positional tracks. So no one's going to want to play him. If you've been following the DP World Tour, he's coming off an event 2 weeks ago where he didn't blow it, but he didn't do anything to win the event. He had a 2-stroke lead heading into the final round in Dubai and lost to Rory. Now, you can pencil in Rory for a win in Dubai every year, so I don't know how much you want to blame. He did shoot over par, wasn't really there down the stretch. So I guess you could say Cam Young kind of felt it, but at this price point, we don't really need Cam Young to win the event. We need him to mix, and he could surely mix in a flop lag position when no one's going to be on him. Now, Tommy Fleetwood might be one of my favorite plays in this entire week. He has so many avenues for success. He's obviously fairly accurate off the tee, which doesn't matter. I'm not really, like I said, I don't really care about the driver this week, but he has the ability to get scorching hot with his irons. And that's key. Get scorching hot with his irons, and the wind and the rain is going to be kicking this week. You're going to have to scramble this week, and Tommy Fleetwood loves to scramble. The tougher it gets, the better it gets for Tommy Fleetwood. And if Matthew Pavone's winning in 2024. Nick Dunlap's winning in 2024. Chris Kirk's winning at 200-1 at the gates. Tommy Fleetwood can get that first win on U.S. soil. Could it be this week? It very well could be this week. So I'm down. Sungjae Im, great. I think he's a better player than Jason Day. Jason Day has all the course form, while Sungjae Im has kind of the better course fit. Although Sungjae Im has not been hitting the ball well, we know he's a grinder. We know he could bounce back. At $8,500, you're getting a bit of a discount off that miscut. I'm down. Hideki Matsuyama finally showed some good signs with his irons, and he never plays here. Truthfully, never plays here. But you're getting a generational iron player at a golf course that's so iron heavy. I think he is definitely a great play. Now, I said Tommy Fleetwood was one of my favorite plays, but Matt Fitzpatrick is truthfully one of my favorite plays down here. He, just like we saw at Harbor Town last year, we got all those guys came over to Harbor Town from Augusta to play the elevated event because Harbor Town's never elevated, so they all played there, and we ended up getting a Fitzpatrick versus Spieth duel. Are we going to get that this year at Pebble? Meaning, are we going to get it's elevated, but are we going to get the Pebble regulars to be in the mix? Whether that's Spieth and Fitzpatrick, coincidentally, Spieth and just Jason Day, guy who plays here every year. Are we going to get the regulars, or are we going to get the elevated status guys? But Matt Fitzpatrick loves it here. Matt Fitzpatrick this is a course that's made for Matt Fitzpatrick. I know he has the newfound long and straight, truthfully elite driver, but when you think of Matt Fitzpatrick at the core, it's mid irons, it's wedges, and it's scrambling. Like I said with Tommy Fleetwood, you're gonna have to scramble, and Matt Fitzpatrick can definitely get it done. Nikolai Horgaard, obviously runner-up at Torrey Pines, and I wrote up in my Vincerix blog, he was an auto bet last week just based on talent alone. There's no right or wrong golf course for Nikolai. If you don't know the name, just know the name. Just know it now. He's a true talent. He can perform on any golf course, but now he's little by little getting bunched in with the big boys price-wise. So if you want to just keep riding the wave, he could definitely contend on a golf course like this. Let's go down to the 7K range, where who else but JT Poston leads us down. Oh, I hate when it does this, when my screen does this. Oh, here we go. I hate when it does this. This happens once a week. But I will remove this and just talk about the 7K range on my own. We got JT Poston leading us off down to Sepp Straka at 7K. I'm actually surprised Sepp Straka is 7K because he was uber trendy last week, and he missed the cut obviously, but he's a guy who could definitely bounce back. He played here I think once, and he missed the cut a few years ago. But he's a guy when you think Sepp Straka, you think a bomber off the tee because of his build, but he's really not a bomber. He's more accurate than anything. And talking about approach, he's a great iron player. So Sepp Straka at 7K, I think, is a great bounce back candidate. But let's go towards the top of this leaderboard, or top of the 7K range. JT Poston should be popular, and he should be. 3 straight top 11 finishes, 11th, 6th, and 5th. Heads to a golf course he doesn't really play that much, but scorching hot iron player. I think he can make it happen. Anyone else up in the 7K range? Sahith might be a little popular, and I don't really love it, but there's definitely a path. The Sahith thing is, I don't want to play him when being in the fairway is a requirement, and not that it was last week. He ended up making the cut, but it was nothing special. Now he's not going to really have to rely on the driver, because the driver is where he gets sometimes hayward. He did hit the driver well last week, but the North Course was really what ruined him. We don't have strokes gained from the North Course. That's why his strokes gained number off the tee is solid. But if there was strokes gained from the North Course off the tee, he would have probably lost like two and a half strokes off the tee on the North Course. He was playing from preposterous spots on Wednesday afternoon. So, but now he's not going to hit driver. He's going to rip that orange long iron. He hits so well on so many holes. So I think Sahith, there's definitely a path. He's going to be playing for forced layups, and he's super creative on and around the greens. Cali guy, I'm definitely down. Now, I love Russell Henley at $7,800. Found something at the Sony because he lost giga strokes on approach at the Century, bounced back at the Sony. He wasn't in peak Russell Henley iron form, but like I said with Hideki, we're getting a great iron player on a course that requires a ton of irons and precision irons. Russell Henley is definitely that guy. Small greens, I'm definitely down for Russell Henley. Doesn't play here much. Last time he played here was a miscut. Now, another guy I really love, Corey Connors. Whenever he plays here, he putts it horribly and hits the ball so well. That's been my case for a few guys early on in the season. That was my case for Keegan at the Sony. Just need the putter to cooperate. Now it's easier said than done. I'm talking about Corey Connors, a guy who's generally a horrific putter. But I mean, that's the path. It's going to work sometimes. It's going to not work sometimes. I think he's such a safe play, though, at $7,700. I think he is such a high floor. I think he's just going to hit all those forced layups areas with ease, and he's just such a consistent iron and wedge player. He's going to be in the middle of these very small greens, hopefully make a putt every now and then and have a high finish. So anyone else up here in the 7K range that I like, I think if you like Brian Harman at the Sony, just hold on. It's another golf course that he doesn't play well, but it makes a ton of sense for it. Like the Sony, he never really plays well, but when you think Brian Harman, accuracy, precision irons, scrambling, that's exactly what we're getting here at the Pebble, and he doesn't play very often, but he's a better player in 2024 than he was in the last 5 years. So if you liked him at the Sony, which I did, and he didn't pan out, you got to hold him out for one more event. I think he's a great play at $7,600. Now, you know who else is a good play, I think, at $7,500? Big Den McCarthy. T12 here 2 years ago, T4 here last year, but take that with a grain of salt. This is a stronger field this time around. But his iron play is trending. Last start, it wasn't great, but the few starts before that, it was heading in the right direction. And fun fact about Denny, out of everyone in the history of Pebble Beach, Denny McCarthy leads this stat category, one putt percentage. He has one putted 49% of the holes he's played at Pebble. And that's not just a one. You hear that sometimes with guys who played a course 1 or 2 times. Denny has many rounds at Pebble. I think he has 16 to 20 rounds at Pebble, and he's one putted 49% of the greens. That's to show how small Pebble greens are, and 2, it was a lot of scrambling. He was getting up and down a lot, but that's still just a preposterous stat. 50% of the greens you're one putting in a large sample size. Clearly, he likes putting on these greens, and he could definitely. The iron play is heating up. I'm not worried about him having to hit bomb drivers. He's not going to have to here, so I think he's a great play at 7,500. Talked about this bottom of the 7K range. So let's move on to the 6K range. Seabez 6'9", down to Seamus Power at 6K. Remember when Seamus Power won this event, when the year Tom Hoagie won? Seamus Power was leading this golf tournament by, I think, 5 to 6 strokes, was playing the Monterey course, which is clearly the easiest course, and he shot over par, bringing everyone back into it, and he blew it. Had Seamus at that event, also at Tom Hoagie, so no big deal. But at 6K min, he's finished T15 his last 2 year, made it 3 out of his last 4 cuts here. I will say, this is clearly a much stronger field than we are used to, and he's hitting the ball horrendously. I still think he's an all right play at 6K. I don't think he's grouped with like Pete Malnati, who like loves it here too, and Lee Hodges, who hasn't shown shit, and Davis Riley and SH Kim. I think he is an okay play at 6K flat. We got to do the Matt McNeely thing because at $6,200, he's going to be 100% owned. Matt McNeely finally showed some life too at Torrey Pines, but look, this is the strongest Pebble field we're getting ever, and I just don't want to get behind a 60% Matt McNeely at $6,200. Like, there is no chance that works, and if it does, like, I won't be part of it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it, sadly. $6,400 Ben Griffin. He has been playing such good golf. Missed the cut at Torrey Pines, but 9th the week before that, 30th the week before that, 8th at Sanderson. When he plays these Wedge Fest precision iron courses, Ben Griffin is live. He is the next generation of this like the short Bermuda golfer that we always talk about when we get to these. Like, Ben Griffin is becoming that guy. And not that we have short Bermuda here, but it's similar style of golf. So I think Ben Griffin is definitely a solid play. Anyone else in the top of the 6K range? Tom Hoagie, 6,700. Won here 2 years ago, and he is finding something with the irons. I really do like Tom Hoagie at $6,700. You know who else I really like? Emiliano Grillo. Emiliano Grillo this past month or 2 months has been playing good golf, but he's been doing it all with the putter. And if you know anything about Emiliano Grillo, he is a elite iron player, and he loves a coastal golf course. He is hitting his irons really, really good again. He's putting well, just played well in California. $6,800, absolute hammer. So before we get out of here, I'm going to do one more ad read, and then we are going to build a lineup together. So let's talk about Cut real quick. Peer-to-peer betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. New, better, faster way to bet. Sports, politics, pop culture, other events with friends. You throw in money, they throw in money. Cut does it. Cut's like the middleman. Vig free and customizable odds. Promo code SGPN for 10% deposit bonus. KUTT.com. Hall of Fame bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season and NFL playoff season. One more game. Hall of Fame bets, sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, game line, research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Promo code SGPN, 50% off your first month. Start today. HOFbets.com. And finally, the SGPN merch store, 15% off everything in the store. Promo code playoffs. We're competing against other shows for a bonus. So get in there. Do that for us. Your favorite item from the store, 50% off. Promo code playoffs. So let me pull the screen back up and let's build a damn lineup together. All right. Okay. No, we're not going to do that. So let's start at the what I said. I said Grillo's a hammer. I think he's an absolute must. I just said it. And who else did I like down here? No, I don't want to do Seamus. We'll go. I liked Sepp. Actually, Flop Black Sepp at 7K is a good bet. Oh, I didn't do the Eric Cole combo. Gotta do the Eric Cole combo. I am an Eric Cole hater through and through. You guys, if you watch me, you know I don't like Eric Cole. I don't think he's a serious golfer. But if there's any golf course for Eric Cole, I think it's Pebble Beach. He is a 15 handicap off the tee. He won't have many drivers here, which will benefit him. The narrative season. 1 year ago, he proposed to his, and I'm not sure if they're married yet, but his wife or future wife at Pebble Beach. Strokes gain vibe, strokes gain positive attitude. The weather's going to be bad, but you need to have a positive attitude in it. And throw in a pro-am format, you need to have a positive attitude. So Eric Cole, strokes gain vibes. He's going to like it here. And he's just a guy who grinds no matter what the weather is, no matter how bad or good he's playing out the gate. So I love Eric Cole. Hopefully he is less owned than he normally is. I'm going to do it at $7,500 for like the first time ever in my life. Eric Cole. So we've only spent not much in 3 guys. And I'm just going to go top to bottom. I love Russell Henley this week. Like I said. So we can go to the top. But at the end of the day, I still think it's okay to skip these guys. But Xander's the play, and then we have 11-1 to spend. I do like Xander. I did say that I like Xander. Like Xander, Vic, that's a high ceiling, but Vic, I could see Vic letting down. I think it's Homer or Morikawa. I think this is a good lineup. Who do I like better between Homer and Morikawa? Homer's played here more. Homer knows the course. But I like the Colin Morikawa flop leg off the miscut. We'll go Colin. Colin X, Henley, Cole, Sepp, Griot. That might win someone $1 million, truthfully. So yeah, I think that is the whose course history. Type it.
Eric Cole.
Oh, Eric Cole. I think he played here one time. I think his first round here was last year. Cole, and he finished 15th. He's just a stud. So I'm down for Eric Cole. The strokes gain vibe. Throw Eric Cole in your lineups. Griot, Straka, Henley, X, and Colin. Those are the plays. 30 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys got something out of this. You guys know where to find me. Ton more content this week. And Godspeed. 3 more days till golf. I will catch you guys soon.